Hi, welcome back to TruthCuber. Today I'm going to be showing you my current cube collection. It's been a while since I posted a video on YouTube. I think it's been about like maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and I've added quite a few cubes to my collection so far. So I thought I'd do a video on just my current collection, and I do think I will be posting more videos just because I've been getting a lot of snow days, and so I have a lot of time to make videos. But anyways, I'm just going to be showing you my collection, and yeah. Okay, so first I'm going to start out with just my regular 3x3s. So I have two regular 3x3 Rubik's Cubes. You know, I don't really like using these 3x3s just because they're really stiff and they don't move very fast. But it is definitely a cube you want to have in your collection, the original Rubik's Cube. So yeah, I actually have two of these. This is my QiYi 3x3 cube. This is my speed cube that I use just because it's pretty fast. It's a lot faster than Rubik's, but obviously it's not as fast as the fastest speed cube out there. But I like it, and it's the main one that I use when I want to solve. So yeah, I really like this cube. This was the first cube that I ever had. This is a Duncan cube. It's just a really cheap cube that I got at Bookman's, and I was like, you know what, I want to try to solve that. And this was the cube that I first learned how to solve on. So definitely one that will always hold a special place in my heart. Lastly, I have this little mini 3x3. It doesn't turn very well, and the colors are like different. I don't know, it's a weird variation of colors. Like, as you can see, red and orange are actually close to each other or not across from each other. But just kind of a cool cube to have in your collection too. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the 3x3 like variations, like different color variations. So this is the Impossible Rubik's Cube, and with this cube, it's like when you look at a tile from a different angle, it looks like a different color. So there's really hundreds of ways you could solve this depending on what you saw. But I tried to solve it as best as I could, and there's probably some pieces in the wrong place, but I don't really want to start over because it was kind of a hard cube to do, but kind of a cool cube to have. I also have this Gore cube that my uncle gave me, and it was just an interesting cube because it was really fun to try to put the pictures together, because when he gave it to me it was actually unsolved, so I didn't really know what I was going for at that point, and I remember this one actually being especially hard because it just, you know, the different parts of the number were, I don't know, it just looked weird. But again, another really cool cube to have in your collection, and yeah, just a fun cube to solve. I also have this cube, which is just a really cheap cube, but I really like it just because it has these really cute animals on it, and like I said, a fun cube to solve. The last color variation cube is this Disney Princess cube, and I really like this one because I think the drawings are really pretty, and again, just a really fun cube to solve. It's also kind of fun to like mix up the heads and faces, like I don't know, hold on. Like you can do something like that, you know, and mix up their bodies and their tops of their heads. So it's kind of fun. But just a really cool cube. It actually came with a stand too, which is kind of cool. But yeah. Okay, next I'm going to show you guys my 3x3 mods. And I love 3x3 mods because after you've learned a 3x3, you can basically solve any mod. And it's just a new challenge. So first there's the mirror cube. This is QiYi, but I don't know. It's funny, when I first got this cube, I thought it was going to be super hard, and it is harder than a 3x3. But it's, like I said, once you know how to solve a 3x3, you can solve any 3x3 mod. But still a really cool cube to have in your collection, and just fun to solve too. I think this is the Fisher Cube. And same thing, a 3x3 mod, but what's really cool about this one is it's a shapeshifter. So again, when I first got it, I thought this was going to be so much harder, but it's really not that hard. The only thing that makes it difficult is with any 3x3 mod, you have to know where your centers, your corners, and your edges are. And on mods, it's kind of hard to find those. So for example, this one, this is the center. I believe these are the edges right here. And then these are the corners. So it just makes it kind of weird. But, so you have to make sure your centers are orientated correctly. So that was kind of the difficult thing about a Fisher Cube. And then one that's kind of similar is the Windmill Cube. And, you know, I gotta show you guys the windmill thing because it's kind of cool. But that's why it's called a Windmill Cube. But just a cool cube. It's very similar to the Fisher Cube. But same thing. I think, oh gosh. This is the center. These are the edges. And those are the corners. But still kind of weird. So you gotta know what the centers, corners, and edges are. But super fun cube to solve and definitely a cool add to the collection. I'm not sure what the name of this one is, but it's almost like a 3x3 maze. Kind of looks like a sandwich cube, but basically when you mix it up, you can't put a ball into this end and make it all the way go all the way through to this end. But I'll show you guys when you put a ball in now. Let's see if I can actually do it. I think it's in there. There. So now it went all the way through and you can go back through, but you know, kind of a cool cube and definitely a challenge for sure. I would actually say it's kind of the same difficulty as a 3x3, but yeah, just a fun cube. Okay, let's see. So this is the Fluffy Cube. It's not a shapeshifter. It's a mod technically, but it's basically just a 3x3, but the edges and corners look a little bit different. I don't know, I just like this cube because I kind of like the name, to be honest. And I don't know, I just like it. But just a cool cube and yeah, fun cube. This is the Redi Cube. This cube I really wanted for a long time because it's almost like a combination of the Skewb and the 3x3 because of the way it turns. But I really like to solve this cube. I remember when I first got it, like it was a bit of a challenge, but again, once you know how to solve a 3x3, you can basically solve anything. So just a really cool cube, a different challenge, and just really fun. This is the Gear Cube. I actually just learned a couple days ago how to solve this one. I can't solve it right now because I have to look at my little pamphlet thing that came with the cube to show you how to solve it. But this is a really cool cube just on how it turns. Like, it's just fascinating, the mechanics of it and how it works. But also kind of a frustrating cube because it is actually a little bit difficult to solve. And but you know, just a cool cube to have in your collection. This is the Barrel Cube. It's different than a regular Barrel Cube, I think, because I think on a regular Barrel Cube, this would be, I don't know how it would work. But I think this is a little bit different than your standard 3x3 Barrel Cube. But it's actually a really fun cube to solve because you have to make sure, you know, with orange, for example, that like this side of orange is on this side, not that side, or else it won't work. But again, just a really cool cube to solve. Okay, so next I'm gonna move into like the 3x3s, or not the 3x3s, but like anything less or more than the 3x3s. So this is a QiYi 2x2. It's the only 2x2 I have, but it's actually really, really fast and just a fun cube to solve, really. I mean, like, I think when people see it, they think, oh, you know, I can solve that, but it's actually a lot difficult than you would think. Obviously not as hard as the 3x3, but just different, but a fun cube. This is the 4x4. I actually just learned to solve this yesterday, and super happy about that because this is actually a super fun cube to solve. I think this might be like my favorite out of the whole entire collection. But it's one of those things where there's different algorithms that you have to learn, but once you get to the very end, you can solve it basically just like a 3x3. So super, super cool. This is, I should have put this in the 3x3 place, but I think it's called the Perplexus Fusion or something. But as you can see, it's one of those like Perplexus maze puzzles, but it's in a Rubik's Cube form, and it only turns this way. You can't turn it this way or anything. So basically, when you go through the maze, you have to turn these different ways so that you can keep on going through the maze. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I've never done it before, but it's also just kind of a cool cube to have in your collection. Okay, lastly, I'm just going to be showing you guys everything else. And I'm going to start with the Pyraminx. This is actually a really fun cube to solve. It's definitely a different challenge if you're looking to, you know, after you've solved a 3x3 and maybe some 3x3 mods, you're looking for maybe some different algorithms and just a different type of challenge. I would definitely recommend this one. And again, QiYi, I really like QiYi. It's a really good, affordable cube brand. And people think, oh, it's a cheap brand, it's not going to last very long, it's not very smooth. And yeah, it might not last as long, but it's still cheap, and they still actually move pretty smooth, you know. So, but back to the Pyraminx, super fun puzzle, and you know, it's just different, you know, than a square. It's a triangle. This one, it's called the Corner Mastermorphix, and this one, it's actually not as hard as you would think it would be, but it's still a fun cube. It's easier than the Pyraminx, but you actually have to learn some new algorithms to solve this one, so you could say maybe it's a little bit harder. But still a fun cube to solve, and yeah, just a cool thing to add to the collection. This is the Skewb, kind of a weird puzzle too. I remember when I first got it, I was like, how does this move? And I couldn't place my hands correctly to actually move it, and I was so confused by it. But once you figure out how to move it, it's actually not that hard of a cube either. Same thing, you do have to learn some new algorithms, but just a different type of puzzle. This is a LanLan 2x2 Dodecahedron. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I think it has, what, like 12 sides? Is that, I think dodec, right, means, or 10? 10 sides? I don't know.
Or
okay.
20.
Let's see. Let's just count it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It has 12 sides. Yeah, again, a kind of a cool puzzle to solve. It's like a 2x2 and like a Megaminx almost. Again, pretty easy and just a fun one to solve. I mean, we're gonna skip the Megaminx for now because I like that one. This is like another kind of just random cheap puzzle, but also kind of fun. Just challenges you really. But as you can see, you move these, and then you can also turn this middle section right here. So it's actually kind of hard. It's actually pretty hard, but kind of a cool cube, you know, a cool challenge. This is the QiYi Cube. I never actually learned how to solve it, but basically if you turn enough times, it's gonna solve. It's so simple that it's just, you know, if you mix it up enough, it'll solve. But still, just kind of a cool cube, and I have the keychain version of it, but, you know, it's kind of my way of having an QiYi Cube without having to buy an actual big one. So, but still a cool cube, you know, kind of a cool way that it turns, kind of like the Sphinx almost. Or not the Sphinx, the Skewb. But yeah, just a cool cube. Okay, now we'll go back to the Megaminx. So this is, I think, this is actually 12 sides, but this one's actually quite complicated. It's funny, you don't really have to learn any new algorithms. It's just you almost have to think harder and use your 3x3 knowledge and algorithms to solve it. But it's basically just I guess it's not really a 3x3, but it's almost like a 5x5-ish on each side. And then, like I said, once you get to the top, you basically just solve it like a 3x3. So, but still a super fun cube to solve. Takes quite a while to solve, but it's a good challenge and it's really fun. Okay, so lastly, these are just almost fidgets basically. So this is the Infinity Cube, and you can see when it's folded up, it is a 2x2, but you can't turn anything. Basically what it does is you can unfold it, and then refold it, and then fold it, and then unfold it, and then refold it, and then, you know, so that's why it's called the Infinity Cube, because you can basically just play with it for hours, and, you know, it never really solves. It's just a fidget, basically, but still kind of a cool thing. This is I think it's called like it's almost like a snake puzzle, but basically you can, move it and make cool shapes out of it, so just a fun thing to try to see what cool animals you can make or whatever. And then lastly, this is the fidget spinner. I think you would call this a 3x1 puzzle technically. So, you know, technically if you wanted a 3x1, you got it. and it's actually a cool fidget spinner, so it's a cool puzzle to have. Okay, so the cube that I forgot to show you guys is this puzzle called the Square-1, and I actually haven't learned to solve it, and I've tried to solve it, and I think it's just going to be too hard, just because you have to learn different types of rotations. Like, I think when you basically do something like this and you actually go like that, that's called 180 degrees, and then you can do like 30-degree turns and 60-degree turns, and it's just really, really complicated. So who knows, maybe I'll try to solve it one time, but at this point it's just too hard, so I'm just not even gonna try. But yeah, that's the Square-1. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you guys my favorite, my least favorite, and ones that I haven't learned to solve yet. So I would say I'm gonna pick 3 for my favorites because I just got to. So I obviously the 3x3, right? That's kind of the favorite. Obviously the 4x4, and then it's probably the Megaminx as well. And if I weren't gonna do the 3x3, I'd probably do like the Windmill Cube or the Fisher Cube or the Mirror Cube, but one of those 3x3 mod shapeshifters. As far as my least favorites go, gosh, probably the Skewb. I just don't find it very fun. I guess you could put the Square-1 in there because I don't know how to solve it. And the Gear Cube. I hate that cube. Even though I just learned to solve it, it's incredibly difficult. And it frustrates me because I look up videos and they're like, oh, just do this. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm doing that, but it's not working. But, so those 3 would probably be my least favorites. As far as ones that I haven't learned to solve yet, obviously the Square-1, and then I guess you could put the Ivy Cube in there. And then as far as those, I guess the one I'll learn to solve next is probably the Ivy Cube, because I don't really ever want to learn how to solve the Square-1. So, yeah. Thanks for watching Truth Cuber. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out. And watch some of my other videos. See you guys later.